E. Emily. I'm 27 years old. And before I tell you this story, I need you to understand one thing. I trusted her more than I trusted my own husband. She knew. For 11 months, she knew he was cheating. She sat across from me at dinner. She held my hand at my grandmother's funeral. She let me cry on her shoulder about how distant my husband had become. And the whole time, she knew exactly why. If you've ever had someone smile at you while holding a secret that could destroy your life, stay until the end. Because what I did to her, I did calmly, quietly, and it worked better than anything rage could have done. Let me take you back to the beginning. My name is Emily. I was 26 when this started, and I want to tell you about my life before everything fell apart, because you need to understand what I actually lost. I married my husband, Daniel, when I was 23. We'd been together since university. He proposed on a beach in the rain, which sounds romantic until you remember that means the photos are terrible, but I didn't care. I loved him. I loved the life we were building. We had a small house with a garden we were slowly fixing up. We had a dog named Biscuit who Daniel insisted on naming, and I let him, because I loved watching him be happy about something so small. And I had Claire. Claire and I had been best friends since we were 14 years old. 13 years of friendship. She was the maid of honor at my wedding. She gave a speech that made half the room cry. She said, "I've never seen two people who deserve each other more." I believed her. Claire was the person I called first when anything happened. Good news, bad news, doesn't matter. She was my person. When my dad got sick, she sat with me in hospital waiting rooms. When I got the job I wanted, she brought champagne to my office. When I miscarried, 18 months into my marriage, she was the only person outside of Daniel that I told. She held me while I sobbed on her kitchen floor. I didn't know her at all. It started small, the way these things always do. Daniel started working later. Not dramatically later, just enough that I noticed but not enough to make a scene about it. 6 became 7. 7 became 8:30. He said it was a new project at work. He said his manager was putting pressure on the whole team. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He started being on his phone more. Face down on the counter. Face down on the nightstand. I noticed it the way you notice a picture is slightly crooked on a wall. Not enough to fix it, just enough to feel a small itch of wrongness every time you walk past. I asked him once lightly, half joking, "Who are you texting so much?" I laughed. I let it go. That's the thing about betrayal. It doesn't announce itself. It creeps in through the cracks of your normal life, disguised as tiredness, as stress, as nothing's wrong, I promise. Around month 4 of this, though I didn't know it was month 4 at the time, I only found that out later, I started noticing something else. Claire got quiet around me. Not distant. Not cold. Just careful. She used to text me constantly, dumb memes, updates about her day, complaints about her own boyfriend. That slowed down. When we did talk, there were pauses. Little hesitations before she answered simple questions. I remember one night specifically. We were having wine at her apartment, and I mentioned, almost as a joke, that Daniel had been working so much lately I sometimes wondered if he even remembered we were married. Claire went quiet for a second too long. Then she laughed it off. "He's probably just stressed. You know how he gets." I nodded. I drank my wine. I didn't think about it again. But here's what I know now, and what I didn't know then. That was the exact week she found out. That was the exact week she chose him over me. If you're new here, subscribe, because what happens next is going to make you furious. And I promise you, the ending is worth every second. 6 more months passed like this. Half a year of small lies stacked on top of each other, building a wall between me and the truth. I want to walk you through how I actually found out, because it wasn't dramatic. It wasn't a movie scene. It was almost boring, which somehow made it worse. I was doing laundry. Just doing laundry, like any other Sunday. And Daniel's jacket was in the pile, the one he wore to work events. A receipt fell out of the pocket. A hotel receipt. Not from a business trip. From a hotel 15 minutes from our house. Dated for a Tuesday afternoon. He didn't have a business trip that Tuesday. He was supposed to be at the office. I stood in my laundry room holding that receipt for a long time. Long enough that Biscuit came and sat on my foot, confused about why I wasn't moving. I didn't cry immediately. That surprised me. I think some part of me had already known, quietly, for months, and this was just the moment my body allowed the knowledge to surface. I did the thing you're not supposed to do. I checked his email. I checked his cloud photos. And there she was. Not Claire. A woman named Rachel. Someone from his office. Younger than me by a few years. Photos going back almost a year. A year. I sat on my bathroom floor and looked through 11 months of my husband's double life. Dinners. Trips he told me were work conferences. A hotel room selfie where he was smiling in a way I hadn't seen him smile at me in longer than I wanted to admit. I felt something in me go very, very still. I want you to remember that stillness too, because it's the same stillness I felt later, when I found out about Claire. I confronted Daniel that night. He didn't even bother denying it for long. Men rarely do. Once you already have the proof in your hand. He cried. He said it wasn't supposed to happen. He said Rachel understood him, in ways I apparently hadn't for a while. I asked him one question. Just one. How long? He hesitated. Then he said 11 months. 11 months of my life, spent loving a man who was building a second one behind my back. I didn't scream at him that night. I packed a bag and I left. I went to the only place I thought was safe. Claire's apartment. I sat on her couch at 11 at night, mascara down my face, and I told her everything. The receipt. The photos. Rachel's name. 11 months. And Claire held me. She said all the right things. She said, I'm going to kill him. She said, you deserve so much better. She made me tea I didn't drink and she let me sleep on her couch that night, and the next morning too. For 2 weeks, Claire was my rock. She helped me find a lawyer. She helped me figure out what to take from the house. She sat with me while I cried more times than I can count. And the entire time she knew. She had known for 11 months. Because Rachel, the woman my husband was sleeping with, was her co-worker. They worked in the same building. They'd become friendly. And somewhere in that friendliness, Claire had found out exactly what was happening to me, and she chose to say nothing. I didn't find this out for another 3 months. And when I did, it broke something in me that Daniel's affair hadn't even touched. If this story is hitting close to home for anyone, drop a comment below telling me where you're watching from. I read every single one. So one night, after Daniel and I had officially separated, after the divorce papers were already filed, I was at Claire's apartment again, and her phone buzzed on the counter while she was in the shower. I wasn't trying to snoop. I want to be honest about that. It was a text from Rachel's name, just sitting there on the lock screen. Does Emily still not know I knew? This is getting exhausting to keep up. I stared at that screen until the words stopped making sense, and then started making horrible, perfect sense. I didn't go through her phone. I didn't need to. I sat back down on her couch and I waited for her to come out of the shower. And when she did, I asked her one question. Did you know about Rachel before I found the receipt? Claire's face did something I will never forget. It's the exact look of someone doing rapid math on how much they can still get away with lying about. She said, Emily, I said it again. Did you know? She sat down slowly. And she told me the truth, finally, after 11 months of choosing my husband's comfort over my right to know the truth about my own life. Yes, she had known. Rachel had told her early on, almost as a joke, thinking Claire already knew, because we were basically sisters. Claire had made Rachel promise not to tell anyone else. She said she didn't know how to bring it up. She said she was trying to protect me. She said she thought maybe it would end on its own before it became a real problem. 11 months. She had 11 months to tell me the truth, and instead she chose to protect the woman my husband was sleeping with, because it was easier than losing her comfortable social circle. I want you to sit with that for a second. The way I had to sit with it in her living room, on her couch, in the exact spot where she had held me and lied to my face while pretending to I didn't cry this time. I told you that stillness came back. The same stillness from the bathroom floor. I stood up. I picked up my bag. And I said one sentence to her before I left. You had 11 months to be my friend. You chose to be his accomplice instead. Then I walked out and I didn't look back. We're at the halfway point of this story, but trust me, everything up to this moment was just the setup. What I did next is the part people ask me to retell. Stay with me. For a few weeks after that, I did nothing. I want to be honest about that too, because revenge stories online always skip this part, and it's the most important part. I grieved. I grieved my marriage. I grieved 13 years of friendship. I grieved the version of my life I thought I had. The one where my husband loved me and my best friend had my back. Both of those things had been fiction the entire time I believed in them. I moved into a small flat by myself. I got very quiet. I stopped answering messages from mutual friends who wanted context. I let Biscuit sleep on the bed because honestly, at that point, he was the only one who hadn't betrayed me. But somewhere in that quiet, something shifted. The grief started turning into clarity. And clarity, I learned, is far more dangerous than anger. Because anger makes you loud. Clarity makes you patient. I realized something important during those weeks. Daniel had already lost. He'd lost his marriage, his house, and eventually, I'll get to this, a significant amount of money in the divorce, because 11 months of documented infidelity does wonders for a settlement. But Claire hadn't lost anything yet. She'd told a lie of omission for 11 months. Watched me suffer for weeks after the truth came out. And she still had her job, her friend group, her comfortable reputation as such a loyal, caring person. Not with screaming. Not with a public meltdown. With precision. If you've ever been betrayed by someone who claimed to love you, comment the word, still here, so I know how many of you have lived through something like this too. Here's where I need you to understand who Claire actually was socially. She had built her entire identity around being the good friend. The one who remembers birthdays. The one who organizes group trips. The one everyone goes to for advice, because she's so warm, so trustworthy, so loyal. That reputation was the thing she valued most. More than honesty. More than me. I decided that reputation was exactly what I was going to take apart. I didn't lie. I want to be very clear about that, because what I did wasn't revenge built on fiction. It was revenge built entirely on truth, delivered at the right time, to the right people. Step 1. I reached out quietly to 3 of our mutual friends. People who had known both of us for years. People whose opinions mattered to Claire, because they were part of the social circle she performed her loyalty for. I didn't call them dramatically. I invited each of them for coffee, separately, over a period of 2 weeks. I told each of them, calmly, without crying, without exaggeration, exactly what had happened. Claire knew about Daniel's affair for 11 months. Claire comforted me while sitting on information that could have saved me a year of my life. Claire chose Rachel's comfort over my right to know the truth. I let the facts speak. I didn't need to add anything. Every single one of them was horrified. Because here's the thing about people who build a reputation on loyalty. The people around them expect that loyalty to be real. When they find out it was conditional, it doesn't just disappoint people. It makes them furious on your behalf, because they start wondering what else that person has hidden from them. Step 2. Claire had been planning her own engagement party for months. She was marrying her boyfriend, and half of our old friend group was invited, because Claire had spent 13 years cultivating those relationships. I didn't sabotage the party. I didn't need to. I simply made sure that by the time the invitations went out, everyone already knew the truth about what she'd done to me. People started quietly declining. Not dramatically. Not with statements. Just busy that weekend. Prior commitment. So sorry. Claire's engagement party had less than half the guests she expected. I replied with one sentence. I didn't turn anyone against you, Claire. I just stopped keeping your secret the way you kept mine hidden. She didn't have a response to that. The story's about to shift into something even more satisfying. Don't skip ahead. The karma hits harder if you've been with me this whole time. Step 3, and this is the part that actually mattered most. Claire worked in HR at a mid-sized company. Ironic, given that her entire job was built around trust, discretion, and managing sensitive information responsibly. She was good at her job. She'd worked her way up over 6 years. It was something she was genuinely proud of. I never once considered contacting her workplace. I want to be clear about that, because I know some of you are expecting me to say I did something drastic like that, and I didn't. That would have crossed a line I wasn't willing to cross. What I did instead was simpler, and honestly more effective. Rachel, Daniel's affair partner, worked at the same company as Claire, in a different department. They were becoming increasingly close as friends, bonding over their shared secret. During the divorce proceedings, details of Daniel's affair became part of the legal record, including dates, locations, and yes, Rachel's full name, because my lawyer had done a very thorough job establishing the timeline for the divorce records aren't secret. Anyone can access them if they know where to look. I didn't leak anything private. I didn't need to. I simply mentioned, in passing, to one of the mutual friends I'd already spoken to, someone who happened to know people at that company, that the details were public record now, if anyone was curious. I want to be honest with you. I knew exactly what would happen next. Office gossip moves faster than wildfire. Within 3 weeks, it wasn't just known that Rachel had been the other woman in a messy, well-documented affair. It was known that her close friend Claire, the woman everyone thought was so trustworthy, had known about it the entire time and said nothing to the wife. Suddenly, the good friend reputation Claire had spent years building started to crack in front of the same people who'd once admired it. If she could hide something like this from her closest friend for 11 months, what else was she capable of hiding? People started being more careful around her. Careful with information. Careful with trust. For someone in HR, trust isn't just personal. It's professional currency. Claire started noticing colleagues being cagey with her, being left out of conversations she used to be part of. She didn't get a promotion she'd been expecting 6 months later. I have no idea if that was directly related, and I'll never claim it was. But I do know the reputation she'd spent years building had quietly, permanently changed. I simply stopped protecting her secret, the same way she never protected mine. If you think that's fair, type fair in the comments. If you think I went too far, tell me that too. I want to hear both. Now let's talk about Daniel, because his karma looked different, and honestly, it came faster. The divorce settlement, once 11 months of documented infidelity entered the legal record, was not kind to him. I won't go into exact numbers because that's between me and my lawyer, but I will say this. The house we'd spent 3 years slowly fixing up became mine. The dog obviously became mine. Biscuit never liked Daniel that much anyway, in hindsight. Dogs know. Daniel moved in with Rachel about 4 months after our divorce finalized. I heard, through the same grapevine that had once carried gossip about Claire, that things weren't going smoothly. Turns out, a relationship built on a foundation of lying to someone for 11 months doesn't exactly inspire trust between the two people who did the lying. I felt nothing when I heard that. Not satisfaction, not sadness. Just a quiet confirmation of something I'd already suspected. People who build relationships on betrayal tend to reap exactly what they planted. We're almost at the end of this story now, and I promise you, the final piece of karma is the one that satisfies me the most, even now months later. About 8 months after everything fell apart, I ran into Claire. Not on purpose. It was a grocery store of all places on a random Wednesday evening. She looked different. Tired in a way I recognized, because I'd worn that exact tiredness myself, months earlier. Fewer friends around her. Less of that easy, performed warmth she used to carry like a costume. She approached me. She said she'd been wanting to talk. She said she was sorry. Not the rehearsed, careful kind of sorry from that night on her couch. This one sounded different. Smaller. More honest. She said losing so many friends had taught her something about what she'd actually done to me. She said she understood now that protecting Rachel's comfort had meant sacrificing mine, and that it hadn't been worth it. She said she missed me. I want to be honest with you about how I felt in that moment, because I think it's the most important part of this whole story. Then I picked up my basket, and I walked to the checkout, and I didn't look back. Again. That was the last time I spoke to her. I think about this story a lot, even now. Not with bitterness anymore. That faded eventually, the way it does when you let yourself heal instead of staying angry forever. But I think about the lesson in it, because I believe there is one, and I think it matters more than the drama of the story itself. Betrayal doesn't only come from the person who breaks their vows. Sometimes it comes from the person standing beside you, holding your hand, letting you believe they're on your side, while quietly protecting the very thing that's hurting you. Silence is a choice. Claire chose silence for 11 months. And that silence cost her more than the truth ever would have. If she had told me early, even if it had been painful, even if it had strained her friendship with Rachel, I would have respected her for it. I would have trusted her more, not less. Instead, she chose comfort over honesty, and comfort, in the end, is not a currency that holds its value. If there's one thing I want you to take from this story, it's this. Pay attention to the people who stay suspiciously calm around your pain. Pay attention to the friends who comfort you a little too smoothly, who never seem surprised by anything, who somehow always know exactly what to say. Sometimes that's just a genuinely caring person. And sometimes, it's someone who already knows the ending of your story, and is simply waiting to see how long it takes you to catch up. I got my truth back. I got my peace back. And I learned the hard way that the people who truly love you will never let you walk blind through your own life, even when the truth is inconvenient for them. If this story meant something to you, I want you to do 3 things before you go. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one, because trust me, there are more stories like this one. Comment below and tell me if you've ever had a friend who knew something and stayed silent. I read every single comment, and honestly, some of your stories are wilder than mine. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, someone who might be sitting in silence right now wondering if they're crazy for feeling like something's wrong, send this to them. You deserve the truth. Even when it's ugly. Even when it costs someone else their comfort. Especially then. I'm Emily. Thank you for listening to my story. I'll see you in the next one.